Hope you guys are feeling amazed. So today's guest, I'm really super pumped about because she is somebody that I actually stalk on Instagram because I just love the way she dresses. She is like a fashionista to the core, super dope human being, and she just requested me in my life, so I'm going to loop her in right now that we can get started because we start on time on the Woman Who Roar TV series. So let's wait for her to come in. It says it's gonna. There she goes. Hey,
Hi.
gorgeous.
My lighting be all crazy on the live. I be looking
I
like
know.
a white woman on here. I'm like,
I
promise you, I'm black. I'm a black girl with magic. I promise. Like, this ain't it though.
I know, girl. It's hard. I've been trying to like stage different parts in my house to figure
Girl.
out like, okay, is this good lighting? Is this it?
You're like, I want to go where the optimal lighting is. Like, gracious.
I know.
Whatever.
I know. We got to create studios. So I want to first thank you so much for being on the Women Who Roar IGTV series. When I was thinking about women for this series, I was thinking about women who are culture shifters, women who are disrupting the space, and female icons. And I feel like you are truly disrupting the space with all of your black girl magic, and just really making a lane for yourself. And so I really want to get into that. But before we get started, I'm going to pause. So yesterday I was on here with some champagne.
Okay, you're on champagne hours. I like it.
Yes, champagne hour. And you guys, look at my glass. Look how cute it is. It has my name. I didn't even remember that I had this glass until I went through the archives. And I was like, oh, okay.
Branding on point.
Exactly. So let me take a little sippy. Do you have a glass with you or anything?
I'm on caffeine hours.
Oh, okay.
I haven't hit spirit hours yet. But
Cheers
yes,
to caffeine hour. Cheers to caffeine. Okay,
there's no AM or PM anymore. It's just like coffee, caffeine, wine, and spirits. Which hour you in?
Exactly. It's crazy. So I have so many questions for you, and I know a lot of the ladies that's joining us and everyone in this room is going to be really interested to know is just how'd you start in this game? I'm really interested to know kind of like your career journey and how did you decide that, or when did you decide, how and when did you decide that you wanted to really make a name for yourself on social media and kind of enter that space?
Yeah, so my trade, if you will, is television production. So I have Emmy nominations in hosting and producing. And so that's my background. That's my bread and butter. And a couple of years into doing that, I do a lot of entertainment, lifestyle content. So everything from red carpets, premieres to, cultural events. Like if it's happening, a who's who, what's going on around town, I would be covering those events. And so along the way, I sort of after the height of blogging, I kind of was like, I should try this whole blogging thing because I was a New York City local reporter. And so the World Wide Web exists, as we know, to get across the world. And so I started blogging. I started this thing called Kayla's Closet, where I would literally be like, as a girl, we get each other because we're all into fashion.
Girl, I'm a fan.
You pulled out the earrings.
I'm a fan girl of yours because your style is flawless.
I appreciate you. So who doesn't love fashion for the most part? And so I'm like, I got to blend my career of that television production, entertainment coverage with like my passion for fashion, because you gotta get up, get dressed, show up and show out if you want people to talk to you and actually give you some time of day. And so I was like, I should start documenting what I'm wearing to these places, what I'm wearing on a day-to-day to my office or just in my day-to-day life in general. So I started Kayla's Closet, and I originally started on Tumblr because I wasn't sure if anybody would be into it other than myself. And then I started the blog, the .com, and social media hit with, documenting and marketing from there. And so it all just sort of began to be the snowball effect, and it blended itself to each other. And then you have, Kayla Walker with 90,000+ followers, which is still like, whoa.
Crazy.
So go ahead.
So I want to know, how does it feel to be Emmy nominated? 7 times, right? 7 times?
Yes.
Which is insane. Like, how does it feel to be nominated?
It's the first time I got nominated, I will say I originally didn't think I was worthy, right? Like, because I felt like I do fluff. I'm not saving lives. I'm not delivering babies. I do fluff. I do the content that makes you smile, that brings a little bit of joy to your day, right? And so, but I had to realize after I got nominated, I was like, oh my gosh, my work is worthy. Like it too deserves to be recognized and has a place. And so that for me was like, wow, like it didn't matter if I won. I was like, bitch, I've been nominated.
Hello.
Right? Like I was like, I'm good. Resume booster. We in there.
Yeah.
Nomination on my resume. And so that was the first time, and it really made me recognize my skill, my craft, and that it was worthy. And then to be 7, I ain't gonna front. Now it's 7. I'm like,
you're like, all right, I don't want to
be the Susan Lucci. I might be aging myself, but I'm like, can I get one? Can I just bring home one trophy, please, Father God, Lord Jesus? Can I get one, please? But it feels amazing. It's literally like it is such an honor and a privilege, and to be recognized amongst the best of the best in my region of New York City, which is the #1 market in the country. Like it's such an honor. So I mean, I'll keep taking the nominations. It lets me know that I am doing something right.
Yes.
And you don't do it for the accolades though. Like you just do work that you believe in, right? Like and you're like, I believe this is so good. Oh my God, I hope that someone feels this. And then when someone nominates it, you're like, wow, I knew I was right.
Yes.
I knew I was on to something.
Yes, definitely. Okay, real quick, because somebody in here commented on our hair, so let's poof our hair. Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Mine's just like going through stages. I'm like, what's happening?
Thank you.
You know how I look good in the mirror, and then you get on camera, and you're like, whoa,
I know.
That is like not what I saw when I
It is a difference.
ready. We're giving the waves today.
Yes, darling. Yes. Beachy wave crazy in the house Sunday. Give it to me. So you mentioned something that I want to speak on because I feel like a lot of women suffer from this. And you said when you first got nominated, you felt like you were not worthy.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit more about that and what happened or what type of self-talk you perhaps gave yourself to start realizing that you were indeed worthy?
Yeah. I mean, again, originally I didn't think, when you think of Emmys, you think of like this really groundbreaking work, or when you see people getting these different accolades, you're like, oh, okay, they're doing things that are changing lives and touching people. And for what I do, red carpets and beauty stores, the fashion stores, excuse me, I didn't think I'm changing lives, but I had to recognize that there is value in that, right? And I had to stop comparing and contrasting more than anything. Like, even though I don't do what she does or he does, I do what I do, and I do it well. And if somebody recognizes that, great, but I also don't do it for the accolades. I don't do it for anyone else. I do it for myself, and I do it because I believe in the work that I do. And with that along the way, and it's something that I totally believe in now, and I was talking about this on another conversation, we have to stop telling ourselves no, right? We sometimes talk ourselves out of things and down from courage or positions, asking for promotions, whatever. We tell ourselves no before even asking for what we want and letting that person in charge or whoever the power to be to tell us no. And most times they're like, okay, sure, well, let's talk about it. Like, most times it is not a definite no. And so I had to give myself the permission, the courage, the confidence to be like, yo, stop doubting yourself, believe it, literally put that faith over that fear and walk through it.
Yeah, and that brings me to, the topic of imposter syndrome, where we feel like we don't belong or we don't fit.
Oh.
And I know you must, I could imagine, I know me, I would feel like I don't belong in a space where there's like all these celebrities and like people of this, pedigree that society puts people in. And I'm sure, that was an adjustment for you. So how was that type of adjustment and really like putting a stake in the ground, like, no, honey, I am here and I belong here?
You know what's so funny is even though I just went through all those things and like not feeling like my work was worthy originally, just because I was like, I'm doing fluff, I never really knew what imposter syndrome was until I resigned from my job and started working for myself, full-time, contracted, self-employed, if you will. That's when I was doing a talk with someone. They was like, how do you deal with imposter syndrome? And I was like, what is that?
What is that? I know. People don't even realize that they
don't
actually
realize it, right?
it.
And I think though it very much so comes prevalent in those areas where there are no confines, if you will. Like, I wasn't working for anyone, so like the world was my oyster, if you will. And I'm out here, I'm trying to get it, and imposter syndrome can set in those places. And what I tell people, and even what I tell myself, is one, you're invited in the room. Like, I'm not crashing anything. Like, if I got to invite, if I'm here, it's because I'm here with a purpose. Someone invited me to be here. I'm on the list. Ain't no imposter syndrome. You're there with a purpose and you're there with a reason. So I always encourage people to recognize that. Like, okay, even though he, she, them, they, whatever may have, whatever accolades they have, you possess the skill that you possess to be in that place. Whether you got a position that's a, you know, it's the first time this position has ever been created, or a job where somebody else left and you filled the void, whatever the case may be, you are there with a reason. If you didn't crash that party, if you didn't crash that job, if you didn't, like, you know, lie your way to the top, like,
right.
Imposter syndrome only works when people are really imposters. You ain't no imposter.
Right. Yeah.
Where? Like,
right.
So
exactly.
I, like, as soon as I heard the definition, I immediately dismissed it and was like, yo, you're here for a reason. And while you may not have what anybody else has, it doesn't matter, because you have something that they don't have.
Right.
Whatever
and that's why you're there.
Right. Exactly. That is why you're there.
Exactly, honey. Okay, so I want to know, 94,000 people, right? And
People
even more than that, because I'm pretty sure you're across. We're gonna get some tea, so don't worry, it's coming. But across all your platforms, like over 100,000 people are engulfed in your life. So how did you build that audience? And then I want to talk about, how do you deal with trolls? Because I think that's big.
Yeah. So for me, it was all really organic, and it's happened over time. It's so important for people to realize, like, you don't wake up with 90, 100,000 followers. Like, it really happens over time, and it's about being consistent. And more than anything, I want to say being authentic to who you are and what you believe in. Because when you're not, that tells on you more than anything else. That
right.
Kéla over here talking about power tools.
right.
Girl, what? Like how? Why? Like, you, no one would believe I was talking about those power tools unless I did it in a way that really was authentic. Like, guys, I needed to build something. Thank God. Right. You know, you have to be authentic to who you are. And I think more than anything, I was talking about this with my girl, Alicia Reese, who you know.
I love Alicia. Shout out to Alicia.
We are actually doing we're doing a live tomorrow. We're doing a strategic social workshop, teaching people this exact thing, like how to build up your social media and be strategic with it and take it to the next level and make your digital, your marketing, your branding work for you to bring in the bank. So you guys can check that out in my bio.
Yeah, make sure
shameless plug. But more than that, we were talking about it, and it's like, it's me sharing my experience. And that lends into my authenticity. Like, whether it be like this cup of coffee that I'm having, like, oh my God, this cup of coffee is so good, and I whipped it up with my coffee frother. Like, it's really about being authentic, sharing your experience, and being true to who you are. You know, and a lot of times people are like, well, I don't want people in my business. And I'm like, they don't know what you don't share.
Exactly. So aside from you being authentic, were there certain tricks or tips, or like, give us like 2 strategies you use to grow your audience aside from just being the amazing you that you are?
2 tricks. One, you definitely want to be consistent, right? Don't post on Monday. When you're trying to build your audience and go to the next level, don't post on Monday and then it be another 2 weeks before you post again. Like, nobody's checking for you. People like consistency. Right. They like to know when it's coming. So believe it or not, like, that's the #1 trick, and people don't realize it, because they're like, I tell people to post multiple times a day, but they're like, multiple times a day, like, no. And I'm like, listen, just because you posted at 8 a.m., I promise you that person at 2 p.m. doesn't care, nor do they see it, because you're just falling in a dark hole after 8 a.m. Right?
Yeah.
So be consistent, be constant with your social media tricks with your posting. That's one tip. Second one is really post vivid, engaging pictures. It's not about who you with, where you at. Like, it's about capturing a mood, an experience, an ambiance, right?
Yeah.
And people take that for granted. Like, I don't need to see your toast on your plate. Like, okay, you killed the toast this morning, but like, who cares? You know, like, give someone some engaging images, and when they're engaging, like, give a vivid, vibrant picture, like great colors. Clean your lens. People take that for granted. You holding your phone all day. Clean your lens before you take a photo. make sure you're focused, make sure you have an angle, know what you're about to capture, and deliver that with, again, intention and purpose.
Do you have like a photographer that follows you around?
Girl, no, I teach all my friends how to take my picture. I don't have a photographer. I take all my photos, like 99.9% of my photos are taken with my iPhone. And I tell my friends, like, we have photo shoots. I'd be like, oh, that's good, but let's try this again. And let's, like, we go through different steps. And I'd be like, this is, or I'll show them. I'd be like, I'll take the picture and I'm like, this is how I want it. Just like this. You see this? This. And put me here, okay?
Right.
I go through steps with them.
My girlfriends are sick of me, though. They be like, oh, my God, we only doing 5 pictures, Victoria.
They're not
like,
sick of me because they be my plus ones when I go places and stuff. Like, when I be getting free trips, I'm like, oh, you want to go with me on this trip?
You know your role. You know your
right.
role.
My sister be like, I'll take all the photos. Can I just come with you to Canada? Can I just come to the house? Like, she knows her role. She knows it. So it comes with a price, but hi. The price is pretty nice.
Right, right. And I think for some folks who are not really into content as a business or trying to grow their brand, it's hard for them to really understand how important it is for your content to be visually appealing and engaging.
Yeah. But it's not for everyone. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not building a business, I'm not building a brand. But you are 9 out of 10.
You're a brand whether you like it or not.
Right. Like, it's not about being an influencer. It's about, it is about sort of who you are. And so whether you're an accountant, whether you're a dentist, whether you are a teacher, whether you are an author, whatever the case may be, there is marketing, branding, digital resources to come from that. And so I always endorse everybody to look into their digital side because it's something that's so forgotten and is an afterthought. You think it's just for, like, you know, the fashion and the fluff. And it's like, no, it can really be a big business. I see people from all genres using it. Like I said, accountants, dentists, authors, like across the board, people are using it to build their brand and take it to the next level.
So at what point in your career did brands actually start coming to you, or like when did they start taking you seriously? Did you have a certain amount of followers, or were you doing some things on the production scene? Like, when did they actually start saying, hey, I'm going to pay you to promote this? Because I know you had, I think it was Cadillac you had a campaign with, or?
Yeah, I did something with Lincoln last year. I did something with Lincoln last year.
Lincoln.
And I probably would say it was maybe, realistically, maybe 5 years ago, if I recall properly, when brands really started coming to me. And again, I was in a unique position where what I do, this social media thing, like, I was doing it because I just loved it, right? Like, I was talking about Kayla's Closet and I was sharing what I was doing there. But again, I was able to blend what I was doing with my work into my passion, or just what my hobby was. And so if I was on a red carpet while I did my work over here, I was able to document what I was doing over there. So a lot of times I tell people to not do it for the brand recognition or partnership, because you got to give a little oftentimes to get a lot. So I'm tagging things and tagging places that I'm at because I genuinely enjoy those things and those places, or I genuinely want to share them, right? And so all that to say, it started to come maybe 5 years ago where numbers started to climb and brands started to tap into that skill set and also that audience that I had to help tell their story. And even then, it's still twofold. Like, a brand might tag me to host an event for them or to tell their story, but then there's more because they also want me to share it on my social media, because one doesn't guarantee the other. Right? And so, yeah, I think I went on a tangent. Did I like answer the question?
No. That makes sense. That makes sense. So I want to get into this about, like, working with the brands. So you have a manager. I know you have a manager.
Yeah.
And your manager's role is to kind of manage those conversations before they come to you.
Yep.
Okay, got it. And then how did you know, like, how to price your services?
So it's so funny. It's so difficult figuring out how to price things. And even now I'd be like,
Right.
And it's such a tricky thing. And so you talk to your peers, you figure out what they're pricing. But even then, like, their skill set is not your skill set. Their work ethic is not your work ethic, and vice versa. And so sometimes you go off of what is offered, right? And nobody's ever offering a bottom line. They offer a number and then you counter offer, like, always counter offer, guys. Don't ever
Talk about it.
Don't ever settle for what they offer, because that is never the bottom line. So you always go back and ask for more. And then sometimes it's a matter of like somebody comes to you for a scope of work and they'll give you a price and you're like, well, I've done that same scope of work for a different brand and I got more money. So that's now my price. Like, and unless you can meet what that price is that they gave me there, like I can't do it because they've set my new rate. You know, it's kind of like they say, like, if you do something once, like, or if someone else calls you something, like that's your thing. Like, I didn't give myself that title. Somebody else gave me that title. So it's like, I've been deemed that because I've been referred to by someone else. It's the same thing with that price range, right? Like, this is now my new rating because somebody else helped me establish that. And so that's what we're now charging across the board. And you have to also know when to sort of go back and forth. And sometimes people can't meet you at your price, but then you adjust the scope of work that you deliver. Like, I can't give you 1 through 10 for 5 cents, but I can give you 1 through 4 for that 5 cents, you know?
Right. And who does that negotiation? You or your manager?
Oh, my manager.
Okay.
Numbers. I just like to see the final number. Like, all that stuff is so scary to me, and I always encourage people, if that's not something that you feel comfortable with, if that's not something that you feel confidently doing for yourself, find someone that can do it for you that you trust. And I absolutely trust him. Shout out to Noor Management. Ernest B. James is my manager, and he talks those numbers for me. He talks those talks for me, so I can just show up and be like, "Hi guys."
Right.
Yeah, what are we doing? Yeah, and he does all. It's like good cop, bad cop. He totally gets to be the bad cop, and I'm just a good cop.
Yeah. For everybody in here, I want you to type in "never settle" because I think this is really important, and I want to make sure that you guys are digesting this, because women in particular, we sometimes feel like we allow our emotions to get the best of us, especially when it comes to money. So somebody will be like, oh, we really can't afford that right now. And you're like, you know what? Okay, fine. We'll do it at this rate. No problem. Instead of thinking in your mind, like, you have value and this is your price and that's it. Like, some things are just non-negotiable. And also, we have to realize that these brands have money. So if they're not giving it to you, they're going to give it to somebody else. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody writing Never Settle. So you need to
women of color. You know, a lot of times they're giving us the bottom of their budget, and it's like, you know, don't be afraid to say no, and don't be afraid to say that doesn't work for me, because a lot of times I have said no, and brands have come back and miraculously have found the money in the budget. And I'm like, it's funny. So don't be afraid to say no. If you feel like it's something that will help you, you know, and with your bottom line, sure, but don't be afraid to say no, and don't be be blinded by the brands, because if they came to you and saw your worth, guess what? It's there. Somebody else will see it, and somebody else will pay that price. You want to be reasonable, but also just know that don't get blinded. Like, ooh, shiny brand came to me and asked me for such and such, and it's like, girl, like, okay, but they're giving you a penny. Right. Do you know they gave Becky $20? Right, exactly. And they do a penny, and your engagement is better than Becky's. Right. So why are we selling for the penny when Becky and them be telling each other all the insights? So we also can't be afraid to share and give out the numbers and tell people things, because there's power in that, and there's knowing what not to settle for. If I know Victoria made $15 off that bad boy, I shouldn't be selling for less than $15 because I know they got it to give.
Not only that, but you really like messing up the game if you coming in at a deep discount. You're like, yo, you bringing down our value.
Not to mention messing up for the girl that comes behind you, because you set a new standard where they like, yo, Victoria and the squad ain't settling for less than 15, so we got to come correct. And so you set that precedent for the next woman that comes behind you. And that's how you really pave the way, and making sure that when you fight for what you deserve, you inevitably fight for the women that are coming behind you and beside you along the way. And so it's important to share the information, to not settle, and to be conscious of what you are actually signing up for, because they trying to get the most out of you for the least.
Definitely. And I think, you know, even though, and this is a self-awareness thing about you, you knew that you didn't want to talk money. That wasn't your thing. That wasn't your lane. You wanted to focus on the content and creating. And that's a self-awareness point. But even though you know that about yourself, I'm pretty sure that if your manager came with you with some bullshit offer, you would be like, you need to go ask for more money, right? Exactly. And so my point is, women in general just need to get comfortable with talking about money in general, whether it's with your manager, your team, yourself, a potential client, a brand,
your
just
financial advisor, like
exactly.
Board. And that's something I was talking about earlier. Last year, I was on this thing called Currency Conversations. I've been doing money talks here on Instagram since Corona took over. But we have to be comfortable talking about money. We talk about our man. We talk about her. We talk about our bodies. We talk about all types of stuff. Why are we not talking about money?
Yes.
Right. And like, not just like what I made, but what you made, how we can not only secure the bag, but how we can make the bag grow. Like, I should be like, who you 401k with? Oh, you got a IRA, a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, or a SEP IRA. Like, we having real conversations about like, what kind of money are you making, spending, investing, clearing? Because we're trying to create intergenerational wealth. It's not just about us, but those that come behind us.
Right, exactly. And if you ain't talking about money, you're never going to be able to get there. So the more comfortable you become, the better. And just the easiest way is to start practicing. I mean, sometimes it's a cultural thing. The way people are raised, so they feel like they can't speak about money, but bring it up. Let you be the change in that generational curse, because that's what it is if you're not talking about money. And also, don't be afraid to ask questions. Like Kéla said, find out what the rate is. And the only way you're going to find that out is you need to ask.
Ask your peers, straight up. And hopefully they are receptive to you asking and are not super private. But that's when it comes to also having, you know, peer mentors and peer influencers that you can trust. Because we all, believe it or not, have focus groups. Our girls that we can tap into, our people that we can tap into and that we trust for things. And it's like, let's talk about it. And if you don't have one, I encourage you to establish one. You know, it's like, you got your girls you go to brunch with. You got your girls you go shopping with. Who can you talk money and business with? Exactly. Find those girls and make them your friends. Make them your best friends.
Your best friends.
Put them on your money team.
Exactly. Where the money squad at? That's where I need to go. Which is a great point, which is why, you know, the female collaborative that is sponsoring this series, we're sponsoring the series because we want to show how women can have these type of conversations in a very laxed environment. And it doesn't need to be super formal. It doesn't need to be super pressure, super heavy. And it's really about connecting women so they can collaborate and make magic together, AKA make some money together, right? Let's create a business. Let's create legacy. And
you need to be dropping money emojis, hashtags, money all in that in the comments.
Drop it, honey. Drop
it. So we know you're here and y'all about the money.
Yes. Okay. But I want to get back to this question because we missed it. Since your life is on social media and you share so much of yourself, does it ever get heavy? Like, do you ever feel like, oh, I have to share so much of myself? And also, how do you deal with the trolling that happens online?
Yeah, you asked about the trolling. Sorry, I'm like, I tried to I'm like trying to multitask here.
Wait, we froze.
I'm here.
There we go. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm like on my iPad trying to like keep all my devices. That's the thing. You don't have all the devices free during the round. It's like, oh my God, what am I using? What am I not using? And so I'm gonna tell you in advance, we might have to take a commercial break, Victoria, so I can switch to another device because I'm losing power on this one.
No!
I know, it's so bad. I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't know my iPad was gonna, like, the iPad keeps no power. Like,
all right, how much more time we got on it?
Look, let me see if I can, like, I can make a request on my phone. I'm gonna send a request here. We're gonna try some special. Let's see if that works.
Let's see.
Did you see the new request over there?
Nope, I don't see anything coming in just yet. But shout out to everybody dropping them money bags. That's what we like to see.
Okay, so I requested over here.
Let's see. I don't see anything coming up yet. Bear with us, y'all. We're going to get back to this good combo in a second.
I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm like trying to like power up here. Let me see if I power up over here. This works. I'm like totally. This is what we dealing with in the Rona. Just moving around. This
is what you got to do, y'all. You got to think on your feet because this stuff happens.
Home life for real. This might work. If it doesn't work, I'll have to tap back into on my phone. But I'm thinking this might work.
All right,
so
cool.
I feel like you were talking about trolls. I feel like I don't really have trolls for the most part because I feel like you get out what you put out. And so I have I'm for the most part really positive. I got some moments where I'm a little confident. I'm a little Kanye with Drake feelings, right? But for the most part, I get what I give. And so I don't have a lot of negativity. And if I do, like, I feel like someone taps in and they're like, whoa, what are you doing here with that kind of energy? That's not what we're having here. That's not what we're bringing here. And so, like, the cuties, as I call them, because I hate followers or fans, like, that's whack. The cuties, the friends, they'll tap in and take up for me. And also, I'll just delete that comment. Like, we're not dealing with negativity here. Because I'm also not posting negativity at all. Like, I'm not talking about anyone, anything other than myself and my experience. So I get that same positivity back. So I, thank God, don't have to deal with trolls for the most part.
Yeah.
And then what was the other part of your question?
The other part of my question was, do you ever feel heavy or pressure to always be on because you share so much of yourself on social media?
No, I think the feed has one place where that's a very curated content, if you will, on the feed, because you're trying to give these visuals and, again, that experience. My Insta stories, I'm very raw and authentic over there. And you've tapped in, like, girl, I'm over there with my headscarf on, no makeup, like, I'm showing my sister, my mom, and then, like, but I'm also, like, I also don't share what doesn't need to be seen. You know, I share a lot of my life because I'm a sharer, I think, by nature. And it's just a part of my life. And so I'm just going through my day, and this is who I am. And it's really, it's just me over there, like, raw, real, unfiltered on my stories. But there's also a lot of stuff people don't know about me, like, or we're not conscious of. Like, I shared my brother's baby shower recently, like, just snippets of it. And somebody was like, oh my God, I was 2 years old when I realized you had a brother. Because I never show my brother. Because he's not into social media. He'd be like, whoa, like, he doesn't like to take pictures. Like, you barely know he's a part of the family. But I respect that he's not into that. And so I don't share or disclose all of that on my social because, again, he's not into it. And so there's a lot of things about me that people don't know just because I don't share it, or because I don't feel like this is the space or the place for it. And there's also a personal side. You know, this is the lifestyle versus, what is it? Lifestyle public, personal life private.
Okay.
Very much so, right? And so that's what we're sharing here is a lifestyle. And so I never feel the pressure to put on posts or share anything because this is who I am. This is my life. These are my experiences. Yeah. Because I'm the girl that's often going to share, like, people like, oh my God, you wore that. You going to wear it again? I'm like, I don't care. It's in my closet. Yeah, I'm gonna wear it. I paid for it. I'm gonna post it again. Like, if my forever First Lady Michelle Obama can repeat something, who am I to not repeat it? Right. So, like, yeah, I'm gonna post that, or I'm the person that's gonna put up old photos because it's like, I took that photo, it was a bomb photo. I didn't get to post it in real time. But guess what? That still don't take away from how bomb it is, and I'm gonna post it a month later because she was still cute. Right. So there's never the pressure of, like, it's like, it is what it is, and whatever it's not. I definitely try not to give into that pressure of social media because it's not life. Like, it's only a moment in time. It doesn't make or break who I am, what I do. So, yeah.
So I know this might be going against, you know, lifestyle, public, personal, private. You let me know. But, you know, for somebody on the dating scene, for a fella who wants to get to know you and see your feed, do you ever experience men who feel intimidated by you, or they feel like they need to show up in a different way? Because a lot of women who are doing their thing, especially as publicly as you, I find a lot of men are intimidated by that. So can you talk about your experience with that?
Girl, if y'all listen, hi, I'm single. I'm all the way mingling, taking Corona quarantine dates right now. We'll FaceTime. Okay.
Let's go. Where your uncles, where your cousins?
They were on a 5-hour FaceTime date, and I was like, "Yo, where did you meet them at? Bumble Boulevard, Hinge Street, or Tinder Avenue?" Because I need to know. Listen. So I do feel like men are most often intimidated. Like, that's my theory. Whether it's like, I see this woman, she got everything together. What can I do for her? whatever the theory may be, I don't know, any man that is intimidated by me, like, you are not the man that I need, because I need someone that can walk along beside me, with me, through it all.
Take my pictures, know your role.
Yeah, come on. So, but I do not like dating people and like them follow me on social media. I don't like that. Like, I don't like to, like, and if I meet somebody online, I'm giving away my secrets. I will probably like misspell my name so they can't go find like the Kela. They'll go look for a different, because, you know, we live in a day and age where we're Googling people, right? And so I'll try and give a different spelling of my name because they can't Google me or something. Because oftentimes when people Google you, if you're in the public eye or you do something that is just, again, in the public eye, and they see things about you, they feel like they know you.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, no, you don't know me. You know my lifestyle. You know some things that I've shared, but you don't know me. You may not get how, you know, quirky I am. You may not get that I'm the older sister of 3, that I am like single parent. You don't know me and my struggles and who I am with things, right? So I hate when people Google me or they follow me on social and now like they DMing me and I'm like, why are you DMing me and you got my number? You know you hustling backwards, right? Like, what are you doing? So I hate that. But yeah, I am. Listen, y'all, I'm looking for a man though. I'm not looking for a man. I am available for a man. You know, we don't look, but hi. Closed mouths don't get fed, so I just needed to let it be known. Hi, she's available. She's hi.
So 2 more questions for you.
Okay.
So because you're in the fashion beauty space, has anybody ever tried to press you or test you or feel like, oh, she's just a beauty girl? Like, because you're very smart. And I feel like people make false judgments on women who are in the beauty space or in the fashion space, thinking that they're not on their shit or they don't know their shit. And so has that ever happened to you?
You know, I will say for me, it comes down to like, I hate when people try and call me a blogger. Like a blogger. And I'm like, whoa. When people can't identify who you are, when people don't know how to label you or put you in, you know, a category, they will put whatever they want that's comfortable on you.
Right.
And so while I may have blogged once upon a time, that is not who I am. Right. And if you don't know who I am, ask me. You know, people are like, oh, she's a stylist. And I'm like, I'm not no damn stylist. Like, I style myself. Like, I know how to be stylish, but I'm not a stylist. And respect to all the stylists out there, because that is an amazing craft and skill that I could never do, because that just takes something that's like curating.
It is a gift.
And yeah, it is a gift, right? And so I hate when people put things on me without knowing who I am. And it's like, take the time to get to know people, because it can be minimizing and it can be diminishing, right? Because there's so much to who I am, and there's so much that I bring to the table beyond what you know or you feel comfortable identifying, right? So if I say I'm a television host producer, people are like, well, I ain't never seen her. You know what? You ain't got to see me. My check's clear under television host producer, right? And so may not be how you see it and how you identify it, but that doesn't mean it's not so for people. And so I hate when people are minimizing and diminishing people's character, qualifications, and who they are and what they bring to the table, versus just saying, hi, this is Kéla Walker. You know what? Let her tell you about herself, because I just don't have the words for it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, or just like, hi, this is Victoria Jean. She is a badass. Oh my gosh. Victoria, tell me about yourself, because only you can do it in a way. Because, you know, like, I may not be able to break down your skill set, your qualifications in a way. And like, instead of like trying to make up words and fill the air with words, just like, yo, she's bad. Let her tell you about herself.
Right.
Go, girl. You know, and that's the best thing you can do. Instead of like, you know what, she works with people. What?
Exactly.
Yeah, just like, yo, she's a phenomenal woman. Let's talk about it.
Right. Yeah. So this brings me to my final question, which I ask all of the guests on the series, and it is, why are you a woman who roars?
Ooh.
We keep it spicy over here.
Can I just say, I love the title of this new series, A Woman That Roars. It's so amazing. And I think I'm a woman who roars simply because I know who I am. I know who I am not, and I am okay with all of that. I am learning, I am growing, I am developing, and who I am right now is not the same person that I was 5 weeks ago, 5 months ago, or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I possess that and know that, you know, I am putting my best foot forward. I am following through on all of my hopes and dreams and really trying to live my best life out loud. And I ain't settling for the bullshit.
Oh, girl.
No more. And so for that reason alone, I am a woman who roars.
Yes.
For that reason alone, all of us are.
Yes, definitely. That is an incredible answer. And thank you so much. Shout out to everybody who's in the live right now. Thank you for participating. We see you. Thank you for the comments. And Kéla, thank you so much for spending some of your day with us, for letting us in and learning more about you, and for being a guest on this series. I appreciate you, Mama. Keep doing you. I'll continue to stalk you like I always do.
I love it.
And continue being a woman who roars, Mama.
Thank you. And I'm sorry we had a little technical difficulty. I got real
panicked
for a second there.
We good.
But we made it through. I'm glad. Thank you so much for having me.
We got this.
Hey, kudos to you for what you're doing over there and engaging more women who look like us, sound like us, and who are really out there doing the damn thing, and who are women that roar. So thank you for this platform, and thank you for having the courage to even entertain it and, again, do it all. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mama. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thanks, happy Sunday.
Bye.